Hello, and a very good day to everyone. In this video, we will be discussing ALAYA e-Invoice. The video will be divided into two parts. The first part will cover what needs to be done before setting up e-Invoice in ALAYA. The second part will focus on how to set up e-Invoice in ALAYA. Let's get started. To register for a MyTax account, access the live webpage at mytax.hasil.gov.my. For the trial webpage, visit prepod-mytax.hasil.gov.my. Before configuring settings in ALAYA, we first need to set up the MyTax portal. Click on eInvoice, then Prepod. Which will bring up the Terms and Conditions page. You can review the terms and conditions. Then click I accept the terms and conditions, and proceed by clicking the Continue button. The Continue button will direct you to the Taxpayer Profile Details page. Fill in the form with accurate information. Then click the Save button. Please ensure that the Registration Completed page appears upon completion. After clicking the Finish Setup button, you will be redirected to the home page. To link the software vendor ALAYA to the taxpayer profile, go to the home page. Click the drop-down button in the top right corner and select View Taxpayer Profile. Now, scroll down to locate the Representatives section. Then click on the Intermediaries tab. Next, select Add Intermediary. On this page, you will need to fill in the software vendor's TIN number, BRN, and name. For the live account, please refer to the details below. For the trial account, please follow the details on the right. This is an example for a trial account with all the details filled in. Click Search. After clicking the Search button, the status will show as active. Then, click the Continue button to complete the process. On this page, please tick all the permissions. Then click the Add Intermediary button. Once the settings are done, please make sure the status is displayed as active. Go to Settings, then Company, and select the General tab. First, in the Name column, enter the company name as registered with SSM. Next, fill in the Business Registration Number 1 column, which is mandatory. Select the e-Invoice tab and check the box to enable e-Invoice. E-Invoice effective date. This is the start date when the merchant begins implementing e-Invoice. Company TIN. The merchant's tax identification number, issued by LHDN. Tourism tax number. This field is only required if the merchant is registered as a payer for tourism tax. MSIC code. This represents the merchant's business industry. There are 3 options to validate the transaction as an e-Invoice after posting. Always Yes. Automatically validates the transaction as an e-Invoice after the document is posted to ALAYA. Always No. Prevents the transaction from being validated as an e-Invoice after the document is posted to ALAYA. Prompt to Ask. prompts you to confirm whether to validate the transaction as an e-Invoice after the document is posted to ALAYA. The classification code is used for income tax submissions to specify the category of an item. For existing items, the classification is initially set to blank. Please ensure you select the appropriate classification code for each item. For newly created items, the classification will automatically default to Others, which is code 022. The e-Invoice classification tab in ALAYA POS provides an option to reselect the correct classification code for each item. Similarly, this option is also available in the ALAYA backend under the Sales Invoice section. Welcome to the overview of the e-Invoice flow. Let's explore how the process works for both the front-end and back-end systems. Now, let's dive into the front-end process. For cash sales, a normal receipt is issued to the customer. If e-invoicing is enabled, the receipt includes a QR code stored in the ALAYA server. Customers can scan the QR code, fill in the details, and submit to download the e-Invoice directly from LHDN. If e-invoicing is not enabled, the QR code will still appear, but scanning it will not trigger any action. However, customers can still validate the e-Invoice through the Last Bill feature. The same flow for cash sales also applies to sales invoices on the front end. Next, let's look at the back-end process. In the back-end, cash sales are directly submitted to LHDN as e-invoices. This process requires the customer's information. Similarly, invoices are also submitted directly to LHDN as e-invoices, with the customer's information being a necessary input. To validate an e-invoice, select and open the cash sales or sales invoice document. Next, choose More Options and then click Validate e-Invoice. Changes or updates to the information can be made on the More Information screen in ALAYA POS, as well as in the Cash Sales and Sales Invoices section at the ALAYA backend. Now, let's go over the process for generating a self-billed e-invoice. Open the Purchase Invoice document. Navigate to e-Invoice and tick the Self-Bill option. Fill in the mandatory fields, such as the vendor TIN, BRN, and any other required information. This completes the setup for a self-billed e-invoice. Now, let's walk through the process for generating a consolidated e-invoice. First-time use. Navigate to e-Invoice and select Consolidate e-Invoice. Go to Setting and click OK and choose New. For subsequent use, click New. Select the date range and click Search. For cash sales, you will see 3 possible statuses. No indicates no status. Pending means the QR code is valid for scanning. Failed means an attempt was made to submit, but it's still pending approval from LHDN. Thank you for watching.